Yeah. So so just tell me about your journey with Hooked on Driving.
Yeah, so I started last year, and there wasn't a whole lot going on. I think the first one we got out here was maybe July or later, because they cut the season for COVID. They did the lead follow and all that. So I hadn't been. I did a race course. I was in the military, right? So they put us out on a racetrack in Summit Point and had some instructors run us through. That was like 20 years ago, so I hadn't done any kind of aggressive driving since then. So got out here with actually Chris Lounsbury, who's hanging out here today, and did lead follow a couple times in the A group, and then just kind of progressed up through, and then branched out to a couple of other organizations like Cascade Sports Car Club and the BMW Club. Did a few days with them this year. I think I've got 7 or 8 in this year, so it's been a lot better summer than last year was, but it's been awesome. I mean, these guys were super welcoming, from the like I don't know Jack group all the way up through C. It's been awesome. Like, everybody's kind of supportive of new people and folks that don't I know generally what I'm doing. I can change my oil, but I'm not a wrench, right? I'm not a race car driver, so it's been a pretty awesome feeling. Yeah.
Okay, and what were the surprises, going on this journey? Like things that you didn't expect to realizations or epiphanies or experiences that.
I mean, for me, it's kind of as a joke, right? Like, I didn't know so many supercars were in the Portland area, with like the McLarens and Ferraris and all that. It's pretty awesome to see those cars out here. But I probably got into the wrong car, just not knowing, what I was doing, right? So I've got a lot of horsepower. It's a heavier car. So if you have...
Are you referring to...
This guy, yeah. So there's no real kind of wheel...
Oh, the M3.
Yeah. I shouldn't say the wrong car. It's an awesome car, but, when you look at, what people are doing in the area, like there's wheel-to-wheel racing for the previous generation of this, or, Miatas, Boxsters, whatever you want to do. So I guess if I had it to do over again, I'd probably come out to the track a couple of times and look and see what people are driving, how they're modding the cars before going and buying a car and saying, let's go to the track after the fact. So I guess for folks that have like a daily driver, bring it out, don't overcommit, go buy an M3 that you're not sure what you can really do with, but overall it's just been awesome.
And learning to drive this car, learning to drive any car on a racetrack, how has that changed your driving, or has it changed your driving on a normal basis, or your attitude towards driving, or how has that affected your just driving?
Yeah, I mean, in a good way, right? So, the thing I think, sorry, a little dust in my eyes here, but, I don't need to prove anything on the road. Not that I ever did. I was never one of those guys that wanted to drive aggressively. I mean, I'll go a little over the speed limit, but I'm not doing the Fast and the Furious moves out there. The whole concept of momentum, though, is awesome. So when I drive this on the road, my thought is like, hey, can I live up on Washougal? So can I make it down Washougal River Road and not touch the brakes? Can I just use the car, and let it do its thing and be smooth? So that's been probably the biggest revelation, is just the whole, like, the smoother you are, the more momentum you carry, the better. And even just watching, like, the better drivers out there. Like, you've got, this has a lot of horsepower. If there's a BRZ out there just hanging with the C group, no problem. So that's all momentum, right? Not just, just stumping on the power out of the corners. So that's probably my biggest takeaway, is just how to carry momentum and how, it should feel good, like smooth, especially like the back section through 10 and 11, just like that nice flow. You can tell, when you feel it, you're like, hey, that was great. So that's been the biggest thing for me, is the momentum part of it.
And finally, like, what's your thoughts on Hooked on Driving as an organization and providing, facilitating your this journey that you've been on?
It's been awesome. So I have driven with the other clubs in the area, but Hooked on Driving is probably the most beginner friendly. Obviously I did my first day, in the past 20 years with them, so that was the only real beginner experience I had, but it's a lot more structured. Even little things like calling you up to the grid, having a debrief after. No knock on the other clubs. I think they're more oriented maybe to people that want to do wheel-to-wheel racing, or are a little bit more advanced in their journey. But for the raw beginner, I haven't experienced anything better than these guys.
Great, thank you. And what was your name again?
Jay Boothroyd.
Okay.
Yeah.